Hi all. In this video we will see the isolated converters. Isolated converters are those where the output of those converters are electrically isolated from the input. That is, there is no connection, there is no electrical connection between the input and output. So this kind of isolation is provided by transformers. As we all know, transformers are having primary and secondary windings which are physically not connected. So we can provide the necessary isolation between the input and output using transformers. There are certain advantages for isolated converters. They are, since the switching frequency is higher, the size of the transformer can be made small. That is, normally the switching frequency on off intervals, and that which is made possible by the power semiconductor switches, the frequency is very higher, so that the size of the transformer can be made small. And that's why the normal power semiconductor devices, just like the mobile phone adapters and all, are having smaller size compared to the previous electrical type of adapters. Second point is the core loss is small. Core loss, which is because of the transformer, is less because the size of the transformer winding or size of the transformer is also small. And next point is this kind of converters can be designed to provide multiple outputs, multiple voltage outputs. That is, we can use multiple transformer windings at the output side so that we will get multiple output voltages. So these are the advantages of isolated converters. And we will see the first kind of isolated converters. They are flyback converters. They are also called as flyback regulators. So flyback converter is the most commonly used SMPS circuit for low output power application. So these flyback converters are commonly used for low output power applications. And of course, input and output are isolated. Then the output power vary from few watts to less than 100 watts. Normally, the input to this flyback converters are unregulated DC voltage, which is obtained by rectifying the AC voltage followed by a simple capacitor filter. That is, the input to the flyback converter is obtained by rectifying an AC voltage, and then which is followed by a simple capacitor filter, that is called an unregulated DC voltage. This unregulated DC voltage is given to the input of flyback converter, and they are popular in low output power range. And next point is the switching frequency, or the most commonly used flyback converter requires a switching frequency in the range of 100 kilohertz. This is the circuit diagram of a flyback converter or flyback regulator. We can see that there is an inductor with the primary windings or primary side and a secondary side. So the primary winding is connected to the input DC voltage, and then a switch S. The switch used here will be a power semiconductor device or power semiconductor switch such as MOSFET or IGBTs. And to the secondary of the transformer, a diode is connected, and then there is a capacitor. N1 and N2 are the number of turns of primary and secondary respectively. These flyback converters can either be used as a step up or step down converters, such that depending upon the number of turns in the secondary of these regulators, we can use either for stepping up or stepping down. So here the output voltage, expression for output voltage is equal to D divided by 1 minus D into the voltage across the secondary. Now we will see the working of flyback converters. We will say the working with respect to different modes and consider the mode 1 where the switch S is on. When the switch is on, the primary winding of the transformer is connected to the input DC supply voltage, and here the dotted point represents the positive side. So when the switch is closed, the input DC source is directly connected to the primary of the transformer. At the same time, at the secondary of transformer will have an induced voltage with the polarity, positive polarity, which is represented at this point, at the dotted point. So what happens is, this makes the diode reverse biased. That is, the polarity of secondary makes the diode reverse biased, so that there is no current flow, or there is no current flow through the secondary of the transformer. So what happens is, the energy induced will be stored within the secondary terminals or secondary windings of the transformer. Or we can say that the energy is stored in the magnetizing inductor, where the secondary act as an inductor. So during that time, during the mode 1, the current through the primary inductor or primary coil is increasing, while the current through the secondary is almost constant or zero. Also, the voltage across the primary windings will be the input voltage. Now to the mode 2. In mode 2, the switch is turned off. That is, the switch here is turned off, which is open circuited. This is done only after conducting for some time, so that the necessary energy is stored in the secondary terminal. So when the switch S is turned off, the primary winding or the primary winding current path is broken, and now the inductor will start discharging. The inductor will start discharging in the reverse direction, which makes the diode forward biased, and then there is a current flow in the output circuit. Also, the inductor cannot discharge instantaneously, so there is a decreasing current or decreasing value of current at the output side during the mode 2 of operation. Here what happens is, the stored energy in the secondary is discharged to the load. Now coming to the mode 3. Mode 3 is actually the repetition of mode 1. Again, when the switch S is on, the voltage across the primary will be the input source voltage, which makes the secondary polarity with positive at the dotted line and makes the diode reverse biased. So during that time, what happens is, the energy which is stored in the capacitor discharges, and there is a current flow at the output side. So during mode 2 and mode 3, there will be a current flow through the output load. We can observe that from this figure, where the graph shows the current in the primary of transformer, current in the secondary of transformer, and voltage in the primary of transformer, and the load voltage. So in the mode 1 of operation, the current in the primary is increasing. At the same time, the secondary is having no current flow, and the voltage across the primary is the input DC voltage. And when the mode 1 is over, that is when switch S is open, the current through the primary is 0, and then the current in the secondary is suddenly starts decreasing from a higher point. This is because there is a stored energy and it cannot become 0 instantaneously, so that it decreases. This is because this stored energy in the inductor or the secondary cannot change instantaneously, so it transfers as a decreasing current, and which makes the load voltage constant throughout the operation. This is about the flyback regulators. Thank you.